I'm going to have two topics to talk about tonight. One is a halachic topic relating to Shavuos, and the other is a machshava topic. Now, regarding the halachic topic, it says at the very beginning of Siman Tov Tzadik Daled, B'yom Nun L'Sfiras HaOmer Hu Chag Shavuos. The 50th day from when we have begun counting the Omer is the Yom Tov of Shavuos. Now, the Mishnah Brura brings down here an opinion of the Taz, and he says as follows: U'ma'acharin lihispalo arvis b'kenisa Shavuos b'tzeis ha'kochavim. On Shavuos night, which will be tomorrow night, the practice is to wait until it's fully dark, tzeis ha'kochavim, before you daven Mariv, and not to daven before that. Kedei sheyihiyu yemei hasfira memtes yom temimos, so that the sfira days will be 49 complete days. Now this is what he means, that we're counting the Omer beginning the second night of Pesach. Tomorrow night will be the end of our counting, and that's day 49. So if you daven Mariv early tomorrow night, then you're kind of chopping short the last day of Sfiras HaOmer, and you don't achieve the Pasuk's state word of Temimos. They should be 7 complete weeks. That would make a little bit of it incomplete. So therefore the Taz says you should wait till it's fully dark, what we call Tzeis HaKochavim, before you daven Mariv. That would be anywhere from 42 minutes to 72 minutes after sunset. Now, there's another opinion here, and this is the opinion of the Magen Avraham, and also the opinion of the Shloah HaKadosh. And this opinion is that it's not really dependent on when you daven Mariv. The more important thing is when you make Kiddush. So when you make Kiddush tomorrow night, the first night of Shavuos, you should make sure that it's fully dark, that it says HaKochavim. But if you want to daven Mariv earlier than that, you can. So you have those two opinions, because when you make Kiddush, that's sanctifying the day. And as long as you don't do that early, then we have not infringed upon the 49 complete days of Sfiras HaOmer. The general practice in halacha, in most places, is to follow the first opinion, that we do indeed wait until it's nightfall, until it's Tzeis HaKochavim, before we daven Mariv. And for those who are in shul Shavuos night, they would know that if we were to be in shul tomorrow night, we'd be waiting until it's fully dark before we daven Mariv the first night of Shavuos, Tzeis HaKochavim. Now this year, we have an interesting situation at hand that we don't really want to be in our backyard outdoor minyanim till it's too late at nighttime. And we really shouldn't be. We're trying to not be out there too late. We don't want to draw extra attention. We don't want to bother people who are in their homes, trying to be respectful. So tomorrow night, we will rely on the second opinion. And we're going to daven Mariv in the backyard minyanim in general. I'll speak for ourselves and some other shuls. We're going to daven Mariv pretty much right after Shkia, right after sunset, which is quite a bit before it says HaKochavim, relying on the second opinion that that's okay. And then when we get home, we will wait until it says HaKochavim to make Kiddush. So 42 minutes after sunset tomorrow night is around 9:07, 9:08, in that range. If you hold 72 minutes, it's a half an hour after that. And when you get home, just make sure if your husband's davening in the backyard minyan and they daven right after Shkia, which I think most minyanim will do in our community tomorrow night, then just wait until at least 9:08 before you make Kiddush tomorrow night. Now, one other very interesting opinion in this, and I'm going to mention it because I found it very fascinating. There is a halacha of adding on from Kodesh to Chol. Lahosif michol ala Kodesh. So you take something which is ordinarily chol, weekday, you make it holy. How do you do that? You do that by starting Shabbos early, or by starting Yom Tov early. So we have the right in halacha to begin Shabbos quite a bit before sunset. So we light candles 18 minutes before sunset, but as we all know, you can light earlier than that, all the way back to Plaga Mincha. What's the basis of that? Because we're adding on to that which is holy from that which is whole, from that which is chol, weekday. So for example, if you're tomorrow night, candle lighting is about 8:07. So if you wanted to light early tomorrow night, you could light at 8 o'clock, you could light at 7:45, but hold on a second. If you do that, then you're once again infringing upon the 49th day of the Omer by taking in Yom Tov early. So normally it's no problem to take in Yom Tov early or to take in Shabbos early, but perhaps tomorrow night we have a problem to daven Mariv early. Now we established before that if you wait until after sunset to daven Mariv and then wait until nightfall to make Kiddush, you're okay. But can you daven Mariv early tomorrow night? Could you be Makabel Yom Tov early tomorrow night? So according to some opinions, you can. And what about the idea or the problem of infringing upon the 49th day of the Omer? Well, the idea is that once you make it holy, that 49th day is over and it is complete. So you don't look at complete as a length of time all the way up until sunset or nightfall. You just look at it that that day is concluded. I've now made the next day Shavuos. I proclaimed it holy. Previous day is over and it's complete. It's not a matter of how many minutes it lasts. So I found that very interesting because we're finding the idea that complete or whole, tamim, in a certain way has different meanings. Halachically, it means either all the way up until nightfall, or it means until just after sunset, or it means until you are Makabel Yom Tov even early, anytime after Plaga Mincha. So complete can be relative in a certain respect. All right, so that's the halachic discussion for tonight. And as I said, tomorrow night we will be davening Mariv after Shkia, but we will not be waiting till Tzeis. But one should wait until Tzeis HaKochavi, nightfall, before making Kiddush at their home. Okay, that was part one. Now, part two is more of a machshava discussion, and I wanted to talk about the Shtei HaLechem of Shavuos. The Shtei HaLechem refers to the two breads which were brought on Shavuos as a korban. It's a very unique kind of korban. Because it's a grain offering, it's by definition a korban mincha, and a korban mincha has many different forms. We only bring this particular form of korban mincha, the shtei halechem, two breads, on Shavuos. It's unique. It's the only time that we do that. Now, let's take a look at it and say, what is it about? And why are we bringing two? Why not just bring one? Why two? Why shtei halechem? And Shavuos is known for many things, and this is one of the things that it's known for, the unique shtei halechem korban. So I'd like to suggest the following idea, which connects Shavuos to Pesach, where it all got started, because we started to count the Sfira on the second day of Pesach. And we finish your 49 days, boom, there you are at Shavuos. So this is what happens on the second day of Pesach. I'm going to be reading from the Torah, Parshas Emor, Pasuk Yud Gimel in Perek Chaf Gimel. So on the second day of Pesach, we have brought the Korban HaOmer. It's a barley offering. And there's something else that we bring along with it. Umincha, so we bring along with it a keves, tamim, a lamb as a korban. And that lamb has its own independent korban mincha, besides the minchas ha'omer. What is it? Shnei esronim soles belula v'shemen. It's 2 esronim of fine flour mixed with oil. Yishel Hashem, burnt up to Hashem. Rashi says here, Shnei esronim, it's 2 esronim of fine flour. Kafula haisa, it was double. Because if you take a look at the korban mincha, there's a certain formula which is consistent all the way through. If you're bringing a lamb, a keves, which is a smaller animal, the korban mincha that comes along with that is 1 isara. If you're bringing an ayil, which is a ram, the korban mincha that comes along with that is 2 esronim, shnei esronim. If you're bringing a par, a cow, then that has 3 esronim, shlosha esronim. So hold on a second. This is a lamb, and the lamb has 2 esronim. That's unusual. That's most unusual. Doesn't fit the formula. And Rashi just refers to it very quickly by saying, Kafulo haisa, it was double. So I was thinking this past Parshas Emor several weeks ago about this, and I found the following passage in the Chizkuni. And the Chizkuni, one of the great Torah commentators, he writes as follows, Kofel minchaso, the mincha of the lamb, which is brought on the 2nd day of Pesach, that mincha is double, just like Rashi points out. Why? Lefi shahu korban techilas hakotzer. It's the very beginning. It's the offering which is the very beginning of the grain harvest, which begins on the 2nd day of Pesach. Siman bracha. So you make it from 1 to 2 because that's a sign of blessing. Siman bracha. Litavuos sheyisborchu. That our grains should be blessed. And that's why it's double. It's double because double represents bracha, a blessing. So they brought the korban omer on the 2nd day of Pesach. Along with it, that was a barley offering. Along with it, they brought a lamb, a keves. That lamb has its own independent korban mincha, which was 2 esronim. Why 2? Because it's the beginning of the harvest season. Double bracha, 2. What letter begins the word bracha? Beis. Beis is 2. We see from there that the number 2 numerically represents bracha. Why? Because you start with 1, but 1 has not yet been blessed. 1 is just 1. You make 1 into 2, that's the first sign of the bracha, of the blessing. 1 has become 2. So Beis is a siman bracha. It's ribui, abundance, multiplying. That takes us back to Shavuos. Shavuos has 2 breads. The unique korban of Shavuos has 2 breads. Shtei halechem. Why 2? I believe it may be connected to this idea. It's 2 because we just got the Torah. It's the first Torah that we have now at Har Sinai. And at the very beginning, what do you have? A siman bracha, a sign of blessing, just like we did with the offering on Pesach. So the Shtei halechem is therefore 2. The Shtei halechem is therefore 2 because 2 shows a bracha. And on this Yom Tov of Shavuos, the beginning of Matan Torah, we are saying it's filled with bracha. A little addendum to that. Perhaps 1 bread is for Ruchnius and 1 bread is for Gashmius. 1 bread represents the spiritual bracha, the other bread represents a physical bracha. And how do we see another example of 2 being blessed? Well, we see that every Shabbos and every Yom Tov. What do we have? Lechem Mishnah, 2 challahs on Shabbos, 2 challahs on Yom Tov. Why do we have 2? Because the man fell twice on every year of Shabbos and on every year of Yom Tov, twice meaning a double portion. A double, 2 portion. Why not 10? Because 2 represents double. So every Shabbos we have 2 challahs, Lechem Mishnah. Every Yom Tov we have 2 Lechem Mishnah, because we're showing that is a sign of Bracha. And we put that on our table on Shabbos and Yom Tov, so it spreads out to the rest of our lives. Perhaps that's the connection between the Shtei HaLechem of Shavuos, the Lechem Mishnah of Shabbos and Yom Tov, and the 2 Esronim of the Korban Mincha, which we brought back on Pesach. All blessed with the bays. And my bracha to all of you and to all of us, as we are Makabel Torah this year, Be'emes U'B'Lev Shalom, that it should be truly a blessing for all of us, a double portion, Beruchnius U'B'Gashmius, our physical lives and our spiritual lives shall be blessed with the Torah, and that all the things that we do through the Torah shall be mivarach, shall be blessed. Wishing everybody a very, very good Yom Tov. I'll unmute to say good Yom Tov to one and all. And great to see you.
Good Yom Tov. Good Shabbos.
Good Yom Tov. Good Yom Tov
to everybody.
Good Yom Tov.
Great to see you.
Good Yom Tov, Rabbi. Good Yom Tov, everyone.
Thank you. Good Yom Tov, Rabbi.
Good Shabbos. Good Yom Tov. Good Yom Tov, Esther. Good Yom Tov, Steve, Simone. Good Shabbos. Nice to see everybody.
Nice to see you, Rabbi.
You too, Steve. Good Yom Tov. Yom Tov, John. Shalamis, Aviva, Ellie and Meira, Hinda, Daniel Engelhardt. Good Yom Tov to everybody.